Hey, hello. How are y'all feeling and doing today? I want to jump on here. I will be doing lives as often as I possibly can across all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the places. I'm there. So I hope you're following me and checking me out on all the places. As I tune in, I want to share and talk about who I am, where I came from, what I'm doing, what my purpose is, and I want you to just know, like, from my heart who I am and what I'm doing here. So I want to start off with that I am Chelsey Wildfire. I'm a soul guide for the wild women. I am a shadow alchemist. I mean, yes, I work in the darkness when needed and shift and help people through their shadow work so that they know how to transform and not get lost in the dark, not get stuck in the hard times and get or be afraid of the darkness or shadow work, but to be able to stand up and heal and grow and work on themselves. But then also a realm protector. So if you work with me, if you've done my soul sessions, if you came to my retreats, if you come to my full moon ceremonies, you know the work I do. It's hard to explain with words and to humans. But I am here with a bigger purpose. I am here to ignite, to inspire, to uplift, and share my light and bring people through the darkness with this light. And this fire within me is burning and passionate to uplift and inspire women to break repeating cycles and feel safe in their own body and be the ones to stand up and share and show who they are so that the person next to them knows that they're safe and able to show up and share for themselves too. So I am leading the way for women to reclaim like their light, their divinity, their passions. I want them to be reminded of the divine spiritual warrior that we are and we need at this time. I came from heaviness and dark, and I think a lot of healers go through a lot and have dark nights of the soul over and over and go through initiations. If you feel like things have been really hard, because we're going through initiations to up level. I see a few of you tuning in. If you are here and you know what I'm talking about, please drop a fire below. You know what it's like to walk through the fire. You know the depths of your soul, how hard it is to go through the dark night of the soul and have to learn how to get your shit together by yourself, how to learn how to stand up for yourself, how to have boundaries, how to say no to the things that aren't helping you, how to cut off toxic family, friends, and people around you. I see you. I see you. I see the fire coming in, you guys. Like, I understand how hard it is to be a divine warrior, to be somebody who is making change and doing something different. So I just want to share, like, I came from, some hard times. Like, my dad died when I was little. I had my first stepdad was really mentally, emotionally abusive and physically, and I learned really toxic love from him of like, I love you, thank you, to like being afraid of him, and then those recreated in my some of my relationships, and I remember feeling really alone and like self-harming by 11, 12, 13, and getting in trouble. I like got in fights and I was a lonely little girl, and I smile now because I'm glad I got through it, and everything that happens for a reason. And as I got through those things, I was able to help other people with it. But self-harm, a suicide attempt, like, I did not want to be on this planet, on this earth. But when I hurt myself one last time, it was really scary, and I really learned how much I wanted and needed to be on this planet. And thankfully, we moved out of the small town that I was from. Otherwise, I would not be the person I am today. If you guys know me from back then, you know how different I am now. And I was able to choose to make a difference and change and choose to start working on myself. I had time where I was a new kid at a new school, a new town, and I had to have time by myself. And I actually got to get really close to my mom, which that was great. But then I was drinking and doing drugs like super young, like by 12, 13 for sure. And then partying and doing all those things and then like selling drugs. And I got put on into drug court when I was young. Like, you guys, the things I used to do and who I used to be, if you know me from back then, it was wild. Okay. And then in and out of relationships, open relationships, still think those are great. But if you do it in a healthy way, if you're not in a heart-centered way, and you're not fully committing to who you are, what you want, your desires, and your truth, like it's not fair to the other person. You have to be honest. But I also got into unhealthy love cycles because that is what I learned. So what you learn when you're young and in childhood is what you create in life. If you do not undo those patterns and break those cycles and realize how much of your beliefs and your stories come from your parents, like what did you learn about love from your parents? What did you learn about money and pleasure and joy and travel? Like what did you learn? Because you're going to repeat that. And then I got into a really unhealthy relationship where I tried, man. We went to therapy together, separate. We tried to make it work back and forth years. Like I'm telling you, I went back and forth with this partner for quite a while. And I tried to get away and I gaslit myself. So don't gaslight yourself. If your instincts and your intuition and your body is telling you don't do it, then maybe you should listen. We are so disconnected from our body, from our power, from the divinity within us, from our own source of strength and knowledge within us, that we lose sight of our own truth and what we want. We start people pleasing and wanting to make other people happy, listening to others. We start listening to the bullshit that comes out of other people's mouths too. So where have you done that? Where have you not listened to yourself and like gaslighted yourself? If you've done that, let me hear below. Like, yes, you know what I'm talking about. So it's hard, it's tough, but I then got pregnant and ended up going back with my ex, and it was a mentally and emotionally abusive relationship, and it was hard for me to understand because in the world we talk about physical abuse a lot. They do not explain to us what mental emotional abuse looks like, and financial abuse. That is also a thing. And I never even like thought of that because as a woman that is as powerful and like into healing, into being like a powerful, badass woman, like the way they take control and suck you in and pull you in and love bomb and make you think it's everything that you wanted and pull on your childhood triggers and pain, like, man, you know, it's a slippery slope. But I'm here to say, if you find yourself in that, please start opening up and listening. When my therapist at the time said to me, like, I finally got out of that relationship, and she said, Chelsey, you were in an abusive relationship. And it was like a big, oh my gosh, you're right. I can't believe this. I am like, whew, that was a lot to take in. Zuko, come here. Sorry, my dog's being crazy. Come here. That was a lot to take in. And I had to do more healing work of how did I attract this? How did I allow this? How did I create this in my life? And where do I go now? Because even after all the healing work, I still got sucked in. I still did it. So if you are feeling like you are in an unhealthy relationship, I want you to look at what part are you playing and what part is them. Don't let them point the finger all at you. But yes, we have part of it, but also like, what are they tricking you and telling you to change that story? I'm very grateful that when my daughter was 6 months old, I finally had the courage to get away and get out of that relationship. And pregnancy and birth was a huge initiation, and I had to learn a lot. And I'm grateful that now I am out and I have a foundation. My daughter and I are living in a house. We are fully supported. I've paid off debt. I am fully supporting us. I am taking care of her and I. Co-parenting is going decent. You know, I'm making sure my daughter has a relationship with her dad, but I also had to learn what I learned from him while she was young so that while she grows up, she doesn't do the same thing. And that was a cycle I broke for my family. Like, I'm not fixing men anymore. I'm not going to try to be the one to pull them out of the darkness. They have to choose to do that themselves. And I'm only going to allow healthy relationships in my life. I'm going to hold boundaries. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to show up for myself and be an example for those around me to do the same. I started hosting women's circles in 2018 and doing my coaching work in 2020 and hosting retreats, red tents, doing all of that for a few years now. And why I do that is to empower the woman next to me, to help them remember their worth, that their value as a woman and their emotions that society tells us are too much, like, is perfect. It is exactly what makes you different and special. Like, your intuition is how we have that gut instinct to do something or not do something. And we have to listen and trust that. I've traveled alone many times and done some crazy things, but I was good and safe. And it was one of the best times and memories that I made because I followed my intuition. But I want women to know that they are valuable for being them. And it's not about productivity, what you are doing or making, or being of pleasure to somebody else. That you get to have your own pleasure and joy and be who you want to be on this planet and be in service to spirit and source at this time. I know this is hard and a wild time to be alive. And like what we have gone through the last few years, like is going to be written in history books. But we chose to be here at this time before we even came to this planet. We chose to be here. And there's a bigger purpose, there's a bigger reason, there's a big separation, and we have to be the ones to be of the light, to be the source of love, to show compassion to each other, generosity, take care of each other. So I am here to inspire and ignite the fire within other women to stand up for themselves, to speak up, to feel safe in their body and heal through the witch wound and the prosecution of standing up and being medicine carriers, but knowing that like we have so much right here to share and to offer and to give. So we have to be the ones to speak up and share and tell the others around us that it's safe to do it. And we need to be in community. We have been so separated and taken away from our initiations into being women and men that we are hurt children walking around, and we need to do the inner child healing. We need to be the ones breaking the cycles for our generations. Like we are the people who are finally standing up and saying, yeah, I'm ready, I'm here, I'm here. If that's you, I want to hear a comment before, like wave a hand, put an emoji down. Like, are you the one in your family making the changes? Are you focusing on mental health? Are you doing the shadow work? Are you healing the wounds around family and money and all the stuff that we are acknowledging these days? And are you ready to do more? Like, we need more light warriors. The spiritual warriors are the ones I'm calling in that know that they need to do more for this planet and to help each other heal and be of service. It is important to give and take care of others, and that's why I'm here. I want to talk about like, I went through a different sexual abuse and abusive relationships and all this stuff, but like trauma that happens, especially when you're really young, is the darkness, is the other opponent, whatever you want to call it, trying to take away our power and our light. It is taking away our innocence so that we feel not enough, so we don't feel worthy, so we feel like we begin guilt and self-blame. And it's this way to have the power over us. So to take your power back to heal is by healing your trauma. And the way you find to heal is your medicine to help other people. How you heal is how you can help others. I have learned that so much with myself, and I preach it to all the women I work with. Like, you have to take care of yourself, and then you can take care of others. It's balance. And then how I'm doing that right now is through my women's retreats, my full moon ceremonies, my soul sessions, my one-to-one work that I'm doing. Reclaim the Fire is a big project I'm doing. I'm starting in January of 2025, and I'm going to keep pulling the women in that are ready to step up and be the leaders, host women's circles, do their soul's purpose work on this planet, because we need you now. We need you to embody your divinity, break the cycle, stand up in the light that you are, and speak up and share. I feel really good. I could keep going on, but I just want to say, for anybody who's wondered who I am, if you have questions, drop a comment below. If this is something that really resonated, I would love to hear from you. But I'm here with a greater purpose and a passion, and I'm going to keep doing it. The wildfire is spreading more and more. I'm going to be showing up and sharing the women who are by my side, that I'm pulling with me, and I'm pushing, and I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go. We are not in competition. We are in collaboration. We are working together and healing and growing and doing this work together because we need it. And men, as we are doing the work, I know you're doing the work too. Heal that inner child, love on that younger self. Heal the father wounds. Connect with your men and the people around you, and find the support that is there for you too, because we are all in this together. And as one rises and heals, the other one has to too. We are lifting each other up. And conscious relationships, trust, love, healthy relationships is how we can do that. So I just want to add that little bit in there real quick too before I say goodbye. I love you all very much. Please reach out if you have questions. Until then, I'm sure you'll be seeing me more. I'll be showing up a lot more. Oh. Thank you, thank you, thank you.